You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 3rd of October. Keeping close watch on LAC, China-Pakistan technology transfer, says Indian Air Force chief. World Bank boosts Sri Lanka economic forecast after inflation progresses. And Bangladesh dengue deaths top 1,000 in worst outbreak. And now for all the details. Addressing the annual press conference ahead of the Air Force Day celebrations, Indian Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhari on Tuesday said India is constantly monitoring the situation along its borders, especially in eastern Ladakh, as disengagement with China at the LAC remains pending. Terming the geopolitical situation as volatile and uncertain, the Air Force Chief said the situation has reinforced the need for a strong military. Answering a query on collaboration between China and Pakistan on JF-17 fighter aircraft, he said India is keeping track of the developments, which will be countered by numbers and better technology. He further said the country's operational plans are dynamic and keep changing based on the situation, with IAF as a fulcrum to project India's military might in the region.
The situation continues to remain what it was in the last 1 year. There have been certain disengagements at certain contested areas, but a complete disengagement has not yet taken place. So we will continue to remain deployed as we were till complete disengagement takes place. तो जहाँ तक हम टेक्नोलॉजी का सामना टेक्नोलॉजी से कर सकते हैं, हम कोशिश करेंगे, पर जहाँ पे नहीं हो सकता है, हमारी ट्रेनिंग और न्यू टैक्टिक्स हमेशा कंटिन्यूसली इवॉल्व होते रहेंगे. जैसे हमें पता चला है कि दोनों साइड में अभी सिमिलर टाइप की कैपेबिलिटी है, तो हमारे टैक्टिक्स में भी बदलाव आया है.
And the US State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller has urged the Indian government to cooperate with Canada in its investigations into the death of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, as he said Washington is in close coordination with Ottawa over the allegations against India. Bilateral ties between India and Canada came under severe strain following Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's allegations of involvement of Indian agent in the killing of Nijjar in June. However, New Delhi has rejected the allegations as absurd and motivated and expelled a senior Canadian diplomat in a tit-for-tat move to Ottawa's expulsion of an Indian official over the case. India has also temporarily suspended its visa services in Canada and issued an advisory for its citizens to be extra conscious. Moving on, Baloch and Pashtun activists exposed Pakistan's policy to sponsor terrorism and rights violations in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. A report. Baloch and Pashtun political activists raised the issue of enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings by Pakistan in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa during the UNHRC session in Geneva recently. They exposed Pakistan's state sponsorship of terrorism and said its army wants chaos and a reign of terror to prevail, while ethnic Baloch in Pakistan are being killed so that they don't disrupt its interest.
लोगों को उठाना और उनको टॉर्चर करना, उसके अलावा टारगेट किलिंग करना और उसके अलावा बम धमाके करना. और सबसे अहम बात ये हो रही है कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी अपने ही सिविलियन इदारों को अटैक कर रही है. आपने वो पेशावर में पुलिस का धमाका देखा होगा. ये इन्हीं के ताउन से हो रहा है, पाकिस्तानी मिलिट्री के ताउन से हो रहा है, क्योंकि वो एक्सेस देते हैं टेररिस्ट को, वो चले जाते हैं ताकि ये इस इलाके में ये चाहते हैं कि केओस क्रिएट हो.
Activist Munir Mengal, citing last week's blast in Balochistan's Mastang and in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, blamed that Pakistan is involved in these terror attacks as it wants to eliminate dissenting voices in the region.
आप एनालाइज करें, ये जो टेररिस्ट एक्ट्स हो रहे हैं जहाँ पर ब्लास्ट होते हैं, ख़ासतौर पर लार्ज नंबर में लोगों को ख़त्म करना होता है, वो बलूचिस्तान में होते हैं या खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में. क्यों उन जगहों पर उन इलाकों में हो रहे हैं जहाँ के लोग हुकूमत पाकिस्तान को नहीं चाहिए? वो इन तंजीमों को ग्रूम कर रही है, उनको जो है ना ट्रेनिंग सहूलतें दे रही है और उसके बाद उनको वहाँ पर यूज़ करती है जहाँ इनके मकासद हैं. बलूचिस्तान में, खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में या कश्मीर में या इंटरनेशनली ग्लोबली कहीं पर भी इनकी इंटेंशन हो.
And hundreds of people recently took to the streets in Muzaffarabad in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir to protest inflated electricity bills and other basic issues. However, they had to face bait and charging by the police. A report. A massive protest was held by hundreds of locals and political activists in Muzaffarabad in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir this past weekend against inflated power bills and other issues. The protesters said they are fed up of price hikes and unfair taxes being imposed on them, while they are not being provided any subsidy or relief, which has made survival difficult, especially for the poor.
क्या है ये हमारे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स मुल्क को लूट कर खा गए इनके पास वो गाड़ियाँ हैं जो अमेरिका के सदर के पास भी नहीं है बरतानिया के सेक्रेटरी में भी नहीं है लेकिन हमारे पास 5,000 गाड़ियाँ हैं वो खरीदने के लिए पैसे हैं लेकिन हमारे लिए साफ पीने का पानी बिजली फराहम नहीं की जा सकती है हमारे लिए आटा सब्सिडी नहीं दी जा सकती है तो आज ये जो चिंगारी लगी है ये आज़ाद हुकूमत की नाअहली ब्यूरोक्रेट्स की लूट कुसूट के बायस चिंगारी जलने वाली चिंगारी अब किसी के वजह से नहीं खत्म होगी.
The protesters had to, however, face bait and charging by the police. Locals have long claimed they are subject to brute force whenever they express dissent. They say they are ruled by stooge authorities who only help Islamabad fill its treasuries through economic depredations. Moving on, the World Bank revised up its forecast for Sri Lanka's economy on Tuesday, noting the crisis-hit nation had made strides in reducing inflation and had benefited from tourism revenue as well as an appreciation in its currency. The bank now expects the economy to expand 1.7% in 2024, up from an earlier forecast of 1%. The island nation has seen runaway inflation drop to 1.3% in September, its currency appreciate by about 12% and foreign exchange reserves improve. But the World Bank said growth prospects will depend on progress with debt restructuring as well as growth-enhancing reforms. Sri Lanka struck an IMF agreement for $2.9 billion bailout package in March, but a potential shortfall in government revenue has meant that a second tranche of funds may be delayed. Well, the death toll from Bangladesh's worst dengue outbreak on record has topped 1,000 this year, official data has revealed, with hospitals struggling to make space for patients as the disease spreads rapidly in the densely populated country. According to figures published by the Directorate General of Health Services, 1,006 people have died from dengue, amongst more than 200,000 confirmed cases of the mosquito-borne disease. The current death toll is nearly 4 times more than the whole of last year, when Bangladesh recorded 281 dengue-related deaths. Hospitals are struggling to find space for the large number of patients suffering high fever, joint pain and vomiting, while there is a shortage of intravenous fluids.
সেটা তো বলতে পারি না সকালবেলা ভালো মানুষ শুয়ে রয়েছে রাতে বিয়ান উঠে চোখ মুখ গরম হয়ে গেছে জ্বর উঠছে পরে নিয়ে এলাম এই জায়গা এনে চেকআপের পরে বেরিয়ে ডেঙ্গু হয়েছে
ঢাকার রোগী কমলেও ঢাকার বাইরের অন্যান্য অঞ্চল থেকে রোগীর সংখ্যা ক্রমাগত বেড়ে যাচ্ছে যেমন আজকের পরিসংখ্যান যদি আপনাকে দেই আজকে আমার 54 জন নতুন রোগী ভর্তি হয়েছে গত 24 ঘন্টায় যেখানে 21 জন রোগী আসছে যারা ঢাকার বাইরের অন্যান্য জেলা থেকে এটি একটি উদ্বেগের বিষয়
Well, there is no vaccine or drugs that specifically treats dengue, which is common in South Asia during the June to September monsoon season, as the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which spreads the disease, thrives in stagnant water. And after a hiatus of nearly 3 months, the first toy train departed for its journey on the Kalka-Shimla train line. The railway line, which was declared the UNESCO's World Heritage Line in 2008, had been ferociously uprooted while a girder bridge collapsed following a series of landslides and torrential rain in August. While the trains were resumed till Tara Devi on September 26th following the restoration work, the full service on the railway line has now become operational. The narrow gauge train service, which passes through picturesque scenery, is one of the main attractions for the tourist visiting Himachal Pradesh.
इस ब्रिज के कारण 14 अगस्त से बंद था जब 14 अगस्त को फ्लड आया ना तब से बंद था और अब ये 14 अगस्त से कंटिन्यू काम चला के बल्कि 26 से एनडीआरएफ काम कर रही थी ना तो उन्होंने क्लियर दिया तो 26 से हमने शुरू किया 26 अगस्त से तो ये कल इसका ट्रायल कर दिया और कल फिट हो गया है आज एक और
Well, that's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.